Hey guys, it's PJ and welcome back to Shift Society. Now this video is actually going to be filmed after the Corvette Expo. I actually didn't get a whole lot of footage from down there. That was one of those things that me and a couple others went down. We had a good time, beat on the cars. The C6 did make it down, thankfully. We actually got it put together Friday morning about 7:30 and left out for Tennessee about 8:30. So the test drive of the C6 was the trip to the Corvette Expo. We ended up going to the Tail of the Dragon that night, and if you follow any of the social medias, you've already seen a lot of the pictures from there. Had a couple of issues that I will get into either in this video or the next video, but today what we're going to be doing is installing a new piece that we bought while we were at the Corvette Expo actually, and that is a 2012 or 2013 ZR1 steering wheel. This is actually black leather with blue stitching, which matches the new shift boot, which I haven't showed you guys, which is also black leather with blue stitching. So this is kind of looking at them side by side. It is definitely a big upgrade as far as looks go. Now the buttons on the steering wheel are not going to be functional because I do not have them currently in this one. So it's just going to kind of be for looks, but I didn't want to pass up this deal. I actually bought this for $100 and it is absolutely brand new. So it's going to match the rest of the car, the rest of interior, and we're going to try to get that installed today. But let me give you just a kind of a quick peek at the car on the ground. I'm going to do a full reveal video on it very soon as we get some of the other mods done. But everything turned out great. Like I said, we had a couple little issues and one kind of major issue that I'm going to have to get addressed, but the car did go down and it did make it back. So I'm pretty excited about that, but that is a quick overview of what the outside of the car ended up looking like. And I did get the covers put on here. Sorry for the lack of content on the end stages of that, but we were in such a rush to get this done. And if you film videos for YouTube, you know how much longer it takes to set up the cameras, to edit the videos, and I was just running out of time. And like I said, I finished the car an hour before we left, but everything got put on it and everything turned out great. Met a lot of you guys down there. A couple of y'all recognized the car. It was great talking to you guys. It was great driving with you guys on the Tail of the Dragon. It was one of the times of my life. We're gonna go ahead and get this steering wheel installed, see how it looks. I've never did this before. From what it looks like online, it's pretty straightforward. No big pullers or anything needed. So we're gonna start by disconnecting the battery. So now I'm just gonna wait about 15 minutes to make sure that all of the power drains out of the car. I know that they say that pretty much as soon as you take it out or take the terminal off, it should kill all of the power, but Corvettes are weird with wiring, so I don't want to take any chances of getting popped in the face with an airbag. All right guys, so it's been about 15 minutes. I've put an LED strip light in here just so we can see a little bit better. But basically what you're going to be looking for is there's two little openings down here that you're going to stick. I'm going to use a T-handle Allen wrench, just anything that is small enough to go back in there, because there's two retaining clips that hold the airbag in. So you want to kind of push in on both of those. We're going to stick, you can use a pry tool, but I'm going to use the squeegee from Wrap in between the steering wheel and the airbag. That way when you release the clip, it'll kind of hold that part out so you can go and do the other side. All right guys, so like I said, I went and got a little bit bigger of an Allen wrench just because that small one's a little flimsy, but it goes inside that hole and you have to go literally just like straight into it, because if you go at an angle, this thing's going to sink all the way in and you're not going to actually catch the tab. But after that, this just pulls off and it's going to unhook. But this here is the tab that you're looking for. So let me see if I can demonstrate that. So basically what you're doing is pushing this tab right there, and basically all that's doing is releasing the airbag. And like I said, you have to do that obviously on both sides. So that is the clip that you're looking for. So now we can actually unhook the airbag. All right guys, once you get to the back of the airbag, you'll have a pink clip and a white clip, and you'll have these little yellow push-up tabs. So just stick your little flathead screwdriver in there, pop those up, and then what you'll do is just squeeze these from the side and they will unplug right up out of there. And just make sure you remember that pink's on one side and the white's on white, but luckily they're color coordinated, so you shouldn't have a big problem. So we got, like I said, these unplugged. If you've seen, that little clip did go flying, so make sure you put that back in there for safety purposes. Pay attention to this clip. I'm not sure if it'll go back in the exact same place, but we're going to try to keep this as factory as can be. These wires are coming out underneath this plug, so I'm going to try to keep it like that on the other one. So this bolt, or this nut here, I believe is 21 millimeter, so we need to go ahead and remove that. All right, guys, so we got that off, so the steering wheel should be almost ready to pull off.
Make sure you unplug that white clip, of course, before you start pulling it.
All right, guys, so just make sure you didn't do what I just did, and make sure that you don't just yank it off there. It kind of felt like it was going to take a lot of force there for a second, but it actually just popped off, and my clips kind of got caught in this little square. So just be sure that that doesn't happen to you, because you don't want to damage any of your connectors. Luckily, none of the connectors got damaged. Shouldn't be a big issue. All right, guys, so here's a look at the two steering wheels side by side. This is my 06, basically Chevy Cobalt, from what they say, steering wheel. And this is the 2012-2013, from what I understand, the 06 ZR1 wheel. It is black leather with blue stitching, so it should match the car pretty good. But that is a look at the two side by side. As you can see, this has a much more modern appearance. It has the little thumb grips, and just overall just looks a whole lot better. Now once we look inside, it kind of looks like we've got a little quick release race car cockpit going on. So I'm going to take the new wheel and we're going to get it installed, and hopefully everything mounts up just fine. So here's an even closer look. You can see the mold wheel just had a bunch of wear. I did wrap these black to kind of give it a much more sleek appearance, I guess, than the gray that was on there. But the new wheel, it's just so much nicer. Like I said, it has, you know, the good blue stitching, all of that. So let's go ahead and get this transferred into the car. So good thing about this is that it has this keyway in there that you can only put this wheel on one certain way. So if you've got it a little off to the side, it's not going to seat on there. So it will only go on the way that you took it off. So that's a good thing. We don't have to worry about the steering wheel being crooked or anything. But as you can see, it already looks so much better, especially with the new shift boot with the blue stitching. This knob is just sitting here because we actually have a new shifter that just came in. We will do that in the next video, but everything looks good on this wheel right now. Let's go ahead and get plugging things back in. So now that we got it lined up and everything, we can go ahead and bolt it back on and then get to putting the connections together, which will pretty much be exactly how we took these apart. So I'm going to use the gun on all of these Milwaukee guns. You can put it on this setting that will just snug it down, and then we'll actually go and torque this steering wheel nut to the proper spec. All right, guys, so we got this bolted on and we actually torqued it down. This goes to 27 foot-pound according to the factory owner's manual. So like I said, we snugged it down and then I torqued it down with my torque wrench at 27 foot-pounds. So now all we got to do is plug this connector back into the white one, get this hung back on here. Then we can reinstall our airbag with these clips. Shouldn't have a problem. All right, so I did just run into a problem and I want to kind of let you guys know about this. So this is the plug that comes out of the car, which is obviously a 4-pin, and this is the one on the steering wheel, which is technically an 8-pin, well, 7-pin, but it actually has 5 pins down in there. The only big problem I see that I may have is the new plug is made to attach to the outside of this, so I may have to flip it around and shove it down the backside of it, but there is nothing that is stopping the functionality of the steering wheel from actually working. So yeah, I had to flip that plug around to the inside, and then I went ahead, connected the airbag back and pushed it in. So everything is back assembled the way that it should, and we now have 2012 ZR1 steering wheel in my 2006. Looks so much better, kind of gives it an upgraded appearance. Once we get the new shifter and everything in, it'll look so much better. I would like to try to find a shift boot. It's not such dark black leather to kind of match this. It is what it is. For now, this looks really good, and in the future I would like to switch to a full carbon steering wheel just because they look amazing. For now, this is definitely a worthwhile upgrade, especially for the $100 that we paid for this at the Corvette Expo, because it looks brand new. I don't know if it was actually ever used, but it it does look a whole lot better. Now, I'm not sure if the 2012 airbag assembly is the textured like this is. I don't know if it matches this a little bit better or what it does, but eventually if it does, I will probably upgrade to that as well, unless I do the carbon fiber steering wheel. So guys, here is another comparison from the old wheel to the new wheel. And like I said, the new wheel looks so much better, and it does give the whole interior a more modern look to it. Not saying that the C6 interior is completely outdated from back in 06, which is now 15 years ago, which it doesn't seem like it. We can do some little things that makes it look a lot better. So again, there is our old cobalt looking steering wheel, and that is the new 2012 ZR1-ish steering wheel completely installed. Hopefully when I connect this battery back and start the car, we don't have any kind of SRS or airbag lights coming on. But I asked on to the Facebook groups about that plug, and they said it was indeed for the steering wheel controls. I was thinking that it may have been for the horn, but once I start the car, we'll be able to see exactly what it goes to. So let me go find my keys, and we'll give this a start up and make sure that the wheel is not going to catch on anything, and then we can completely finish up the install. All right guys, so I did find out that that plug in there was not for radio controls. It is actually for the horn. So there is actually a way to repin this harness, and a buddy of mine is actually going to send me the PDF. So in a future video, I will show you exactly how to repin this harness, because I'm going to have to wait on that. But I'm going to go ahead and start the car up, make sure we don't get any kind of airbag lights or anything, make sure that the steering wheel has full control in both directions. Alright guys, so I finally got the car started. It's one of the issues I need to explain in probably a couple of videos from now, because we're going to do the shifter in the next one. But anyway, full function of the steering wheel all the way around. It doesn't bind or anything. That's one of my big things I wanted to make sure of with that plug the way that it was. But I did find out again that the plug that is behind this that we did not plug in does in fact go to the horn, and you can either repin it, or I was looking at the old steering wheel and I believe that we can actually just take the harness off of that steering wheel and use it on this one, since we're not really using the button controls or anything on it. So that should solve our horn problem, but I usually just rev up my buddies anyway instead of using the horn, because it's hard to hear the horn over the sound of the car anyway. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you like the install of the 2012-2013 ZR1 leather steering wheel with the blue stitching. Like I said, it does make the car look just a little bit updated. That's a good thing. Like I said, it's not that the C6 interior is completely dated, but compared to some of the newer, even newer generations of the C6, it just gives it a little bit better look. So guys, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. It does help these videos get seen, and the channel does seem to be growing pretty steadily now. So thank you guys for all of the support on the channel. If you want to see a sneak peek of all the behind the scenes stuff, head over to Instagram. This is the car page. Again, my link to my personal Instagram is on there as well. That is the car page where if you want your car featured, shoot me a DM on there with the most high-res picture you have of your car, and we will be sure to get it featured. And guys, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button below. We have finally eclipsed 4,500 subscribers, on our way to 5,000. Hopefully, you know, the channel takes off and we can hit 100K by the end of the year. I know it's a little bit optimistic, but with all of the stuff we have coming up, very, very possible, because we are going to be done with the builds and we're going to start using these cars. Like I said, we did take this to the Corvette Expo down in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee last week, and it did great on the Dragon. Unfortunately, I did find a little bit of a weak spot, which may or may not be valve seals, and from high RPM decelerations, it may have been shooting some blue smoke out of the exhaust. We're going to have to address that in the future, and by the future, I mean very, very soon. And if we're going to be taking the rockers and the valve springs and all of that off, we might as well do some goodies while we're in there. So guys, that's going to be it. Hope you like this video. Hope you like the new steering wheel, and I really, really hope you like the way that the C6 is turning out. But I will see you guys on the next video.